when I went to medical school and received my medical degree, through that education process, I learned what happens to the body in health and disease as a whole. So I have a broad view. And then I decided that I wanted to focus and learn in depth certain areas of the health and disease process. I was interested in infectious diseases, and that's why my PhD is in microbiology and immunology. And in learning how viruses and bacteria infect a cell and what happens inside the cell once it's infected, that was very interesting to me. That's what microbiology is about. And then you learn, how does your body fight these infections? That's what immunology is about. And so I learned that at a very detailed level. And then I focused my studies, because when you do a PhD, you have to do a thesis. And to do a thesis, you focus on one particular topic, and you learn it very in much detail. So it's very deep, the knowledge that you gain. It's no longer broad, now it's deep. And I wanted to learn how to prevent an infection, and specifically an infection with HIV. That was very prominent. It was, one of the new infections that came out when I was in medical school or late high school years. And so I wanted to learn about that. So in order to prevent HIV, I had to learn how it causes disease in these very small details. What happens when the virus comes to the cell? And that way I can learn how to prevent disease, how to develop products that could prevent that infection process. And that's what I did with my PhD. And in the end, I just focused my career all towards research. So in general, a physician scientist is a clinician, somebody that has an MD degree, for example, or a doctor in osteopathy degree. So they go to medical school, they know how to see patients, they can see patients in an office, and then you add the word scientist to that, meaning that you do research. And it could be clinical research, basic science research, different kinds of research. But the fact that you do both, that you know the clinical aspects and you know how to do research, makes you a physician scientist.